also focuses on the digital services, digital management, digital skills, and also driving digital innovation for entrepreneurship. And earlier on, there was the anti-national broadband strategy, which was supposed to run from 2018 to the end of this year. And this strategy is aimed at transforming Kenya into a broad-based economy through the provision of quality broadband services to all citizens in the country. And maybe for information purposes, there are currently 4 undersea fiber optic cables that landed off at the coast of Kenya, and this is Seacom, Teams, Easy, and Lion 2, which are the core drivers of fixed internet penetration in the country, making it one of the highest and fastest and also most reliable internet within the region. The national broadband strategy had envisioned Kenya to be where a user in the remotest part of the country can connect with other users within and also outside the country at the click of a button. And it's also supposed to enable people to transact, interact over fast, reliable, secure, and affordable internet connection. And also, in August this year, Kenya removed the 30% local shareholding requirements for companies providing ICT services. And it is expected that this move will encourage those people who want to enter actually in this sector. And also, in addition to that, this year, the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Eli Dowalo, also inaugurated the Information, Communication and Digital Economy Sector Working Group on Policy and Legislative Reform. And this sector working group will examine the existing policy. It will examine the legislative, institutional, administrative, and operational structures, in addition to the systems and also strategies, and recommend comprehensive reforms in the sector. So I think the output that will come from this sector working group will provide a way forward, and also reforms that are needed in the ICT sector.
So welcome, Mr. Anshu. I have a question for you. As a data analyst, how can you share some insights into the emerging trends and technologies that pertain to data analytics, and what should we watch out for?
Yeah, okay. So certainly data analytics has undeniably emerged as a critical catalyst for the growth and innovation of tech industry. Over the last few years, several trends and technologies have taken place, and attention and they are poised to reshape the landscape of data analytics. Okay, so the first very much emerging trends which we find generally is artificial intelligence and machine learning integration. So actually the integration of AI and machine learning algorithms into data analytics processes is like it is revolutionizing the field of data analytics, and data analysts needs to adapt at leveraging these technologies to extract valuable insights from vast and complex data sets. For instance, the implementation of deep learning models for natural language processing has enabled sentiment analysis of customer reviews, providing valuable insights into consumer preference and behavior. The second most emerging trend is edge computing and Internet of Things data analysis. Okay, with the proliferation of IoT devices, there is a massive influx of data generated at the edge. Now, data analysts need to focus on processing the data in real time to derive actionable insights. Okay. The third most emerging trend, which I feel, is big data and cloud computing. The exponential growth of data has has made it very necessary to adopt scalable and efficient storage and process solutions. So data analysts should be well versed in cloud-based analytics platforms that enables seamless processing of a large data set. For example, the use of cloud-based data warehouse and data lakes allows the storage and analysis of massive data sets, facilitating informed decision-making in various industries. The next most emerging trend is data privacy and security. As data becomes increasingly valuable, ensuring its privacy and security is very important. So, as a data analyst, we need to be knowledgeable about evolving regulations and having best practices in data privacy to ensure compliance.
My name is James Reggae. I would love to apologize. As you can see, my background is actually a library. I'm at the current country club and I'm under pressure to leave. So I'll be very brief. I'll give my email contact so that I can have questions. But I'm happy to see my friends, Oscar Okwero. I can see another friend of mine, Ben Roberts. But before I go further, I just want to thank Sevenett for introducing such a beautiful forum for especially Kenyans abroad in conducting such a beautiful conference. I think Sevenett, what you're doing will help a lot of students in diaspora, especially Kenyan students. I think you just hit the jackpot. This is great. I'll do a little introduction of myself. I've been in the telecom industry for over 40 years. I started in the US. I was working for International Telecom Organization, Satellite Communications Organization in Washington, DC, 15 years. Then I went to West Africa, Cote d'Ivoire for 4 years to design the African satellite, which I finished. I did the footprint and the communication modems. I took it to France and the satellite was built. African satellite actually eventually sold to some companies in Dubai. From there, I went back to US to join Iridium Satellites. Actually, I was given a job of designing multiplexers that interface the ground segment and the satellite segment. But eventually, they offered me a job to go to UK to start Iridium Africa director, which eventually could not bring to Kenya because, Kenya did not allow me to start it here, so I took it to South Africa. After that, I went to Tanzania and concocted Vodacom Tanzania from zero. I ran it for 2 years, then came to Kenya, joined politics, then went back to US to join my family. I'm actually from US last night, and I was traveling and asked for permission to be here for a short time. So I just want to say that my background is basically on telecommunications, satellites, GSM, fiber, and all of that. Basically, the most significant one is in 1983, I assisted a gentleman who is now an evangelist at Google called Vint Cerf. I helped him study the TCP/IP across the Atlantic, and is still in force. TCP/IP is still running in internet. That was one big thing that I did, and of course the Rascom satellite and the Vodacom Tanzania. So basically, my background is in telecommunications. If you want to contact me, I'm on james.reggae@me.com. Right now, I'm the president of SkyMax in Washington, D.C. area. What we do is 5G SA, 5G standalone. It's a new technology that provides data at very high speed that has very minimal should I actually say that? We can, the 5G that we are doing can be even shared with existing networks. So a country like Kenya, we would not be competing with anybody, but we can share our network with all the network operators. That is the latest in 5G standalone. That's what I'm doing in Washington, D.C. area.
So as mentioned, I'm Oscar Okwero. I am a cloud security engineer with IOM. It's a UN agency. So essentially, I'm in charge of application security, and part of application security is essentially offensive and defensive security operations. And I'm also in charge of the data privacy and protection program within the IOM. So I would leave it at that point. It will be more interesting to go deep with specific questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Oscar. You've talked about how AI and machine learning is employed in systems. Give us practical examples of how that is done.
So if I remember well, the question was in the context of cloud applications. And this is unique because cloud, by the virtue that enterprises go cloud, there is the element of shared infrastructure, and there are different levels. The cloud, the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and application as a service. So I will zero down on especially cloud, software as a service, which ideally is all the infrastructure that supports the application are handled by the cloud service provider, and the client is only in charge of probably configuring the applications and using it. So a case in point is, say, your email applications, or maybe your Google storage and all that. So what's unique, and let's say something as simple as your email. A lot of times you have these emails coming to your mailbox from this prince, the Nigerian prince, who always has some $1 million in your account, and they're looking for a way to share it. And a lot of times, if you go to your spam, the email is already there. So there's an element within your mailbox that detects what could be classified as spam, and a lot of times they get it right. So what ideally it does, as Engineer Reggae just alluded to earlier on, you can put the analytics or ML or AI at different levels, be it at infra level, so you can see the different communication protocols and networks communicating. So a case in point, if say you're a bank based within Kenya and you detect late in the night that there's a lot of traffic, say coming from Saudi Arabia or Philippines, that in itself should raise some eyebrows, because it being in Kenya and it's at night, you'd expect your clientele to be transacting at particular points. So these are some examples of how AI uses essentially a context, and context could be the user behavior, the time zones, the expected traffic levels to classify something as either suspect, and therefore you can isolate it for further analysis, or better still, in the case of it being a spam, just classify it as spam and quarantine to the spam folder. So that's one practical example. But at infra level, if you speak of some of these cloud service providers, say Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, they have very particular solutions that deal particularly with that. And a case in point is AWS. They have something called Maci, and Microsoft, I think they have Purview. So what it does is, as you onboard your as an enterprise onboards its workload on cloud, that it gives you an option to classify your data according to sensitivity level, according to access protocols or access policies. So based on that, if there's any divergence on that, then it kind of detects that could be a fraudulent transaction. So say somebody is trying to transfer some large amounts of data from location A to location B, so at some wee hours of the night, that in itself should raise a flag, because a lot of times if it's a backup, which ideally that would pass as automatic backup, there needs to be probably at some particular points that are well defined within the workload. So these are some, again, of the examples that could be used to both at user level, that is you using your emails, and at enterprise level to detect potential data loss in the cloud. So that would be one example of that.